Dinosaurs ruled Earth for 160 million years. Humanity built the atom bomb in just 2 million. Let that sink in. Something feels off. They had 80 times the evolutionary runway we did. Which means, had they evolved like us, they should have colonized the galaxy by now. But in 160 million they years, never invented a single wheel, never harnessed fire, never shipped a simple stone. They did only 3 things: eat, breed, sleep, and get wiped out by an asteroid. Why? Were they simply too dumb? The truth is far more. The universe itself might simply forbid from building a civilization. Some scientists even propose a terrifying hypothesis: the dawn of intelligence required an exceptionally brutal great filter. Dinosaurs failed to pass it. And we might just be a lucky fluke. But hold on. Before you swell with human pride, let me ask you, actually a gift, you'd probably say. Of course. Without it, how could we rule the food chain? But consider dinosaurs reigned for 160 million years. Humans, a fraction of that, who endured longer. Dinosaurs. Who was more successful? Dinosaurs. If not doomed asteroid, they still rule the Earth today. Meanwhile, humanity on its current trajectory is on a fast track to destroying itself. So ask yourself, is intelligence an evolutionary triumph or a tragic flaw? It all comes down to one fundamental question. What is the purpose of most think it's about getting smarter, getting stronger, getting better? Dead wrong. Evolution has only one goal: survive. Pass on your genes. How you survive is entirely up to you. You can grow sharp fangs and claws. You can run or burrow underground and play dead. As long as you the method doesn't matter. Intelligence, that's just one of countless survival strategies. And it is the most expensive, most perilous one of all. Why expensive? Let's do the math. The human brain is just 2%. But guess how much energy it burns? A massive 20%. What does that mean? The food you eat in a day, 1/5 of it goes straight to your head. And it gets crazier. That energy demand is even higher. It can spike to 50%, even 60%. Meaning a 5-year-old child, mostly, just to keep their brain running. But the brain is incredibly fragile. Cut off its blood supply. 4 seconds, and cells begin to die. The other organs in your body can skip a meal or two. Not the brain. It demands constant feeding. Now, do you see why intelligence is a biological luxury? It's simply too expensive. For it was an investment with zero return. Why? Because they didn't need it. Earth, during the age of dinosaurs, was quite literally a perfect paradise. Warm, lush, covered in endless oceans. Even Antarctica was covered in lush forests back then. Herbivores had an endless, effortless buffet. They could level a small forest a day and still leave leftovers. And the carnivores, fat, plentiful prey, was everywhere. A perfect climate. Stable food, a stable food chain. In a utopia like that, did dinosaurs need to rack their brains to survive? Absolutely not. But you might argue, given enough time and a perfect environment, shouldn't they have gotten smarter anyway? 160 million. Even the dullest beasts should catch on. That is a classic human fallacy. Evolution doesn't just happen over time. It requires a crucible. Without pressure, evolution has no direction. Picture a T-Rex, 40 feet long, 6 jaws that could effortlessly shatter bone. Does it need to be clever? It opens its mouth and rules the world. A big brain that's just dead weight. A biological liability. Why waste fueling energy? A giant mind when you can invest it in teeth and muscle, which to the second us fatal dinosaur anatomy doomed them from the start. Look at their forelimbs. The tiny arms of a T-Rex are a cosmic joke. Those pathetic claws couldn't craft a tool. If their lives depended on it, giant herbivores fared no better. Their front legs were either uselessly short or massive pillars built only for walking. Imagine a 40-ton behemoth leaning down to sharpen a stone axe. It's utterly absurd. Their biology was never meant for higher intelligence. They were designed as killing machines, not thinking machines. But what about the smaller dinosaurs? True, some of them had nimble claws. Take the Truden, roughly the size of a human, a relatively massive brain, forward-facing eyes for binocular vision, hands capable of grasping. Scientists estimate its brain capacity was off the charts. Compared to the average reptile, paleontologist Dale Russell even proposed a radical theory. Had the asteroid missed Earth, the Truden might have evolved into a dinosaur and claimed the planet. Sounds like sci-fi, right? Has one fatal flaw. Theory. Yes, small dinosaurs, but they hit a biological brick wall. Energy. A lightweight predator simply cannot fuel a human-grade brain. Our brains weigh about 3 pounds. And siphon 20% of our energy. A Truden weighed maybe 130 pounds. It physically couldn't afford the caloric cost. This small is the energy couldn't generate the power needed for a civilized mind. Giants had the power, but lacked the anatomy. It was a biological catch-22. And there is a darker, hidden, the very air they breathed might have stifled their minds entirely. Paleontologist Peter Ward theorizes that during the Mesozoic, oxygen levels plummeted to as low as 12%. Today, it's 21%. And what does a big brain crave above all else? Oxygen. The brain's demand for it is absolute. Deprive it for mere seconds, and cells begin to die, forging a massive, energy-hungry brain in a low-oxygen world practically impossible. Dinosaurs weren't just dumb. The very atmosphere forbade them from thinking. So, the dinosaurs were locked out of intelligence. But what about us? How did humanity break the curse? The answer might terrify you. We didn't evolve big brains for greatness. We did it out of desperation. Absolute desperation. Picture ancestors in the ancient wild. We had no strength to fight the lions, no speed to outrun the cheetahs. Our claws and teeth were an evolutionary joke on the African savanna. We were nothing but walking meat. Any predator could tear us to shreds. Trapped in this nightmare, we faced an ultimatum: go extinct or find another way. And so, a brutal chain of events began. The climate shifted. The forests vanished. Our ancestors were forced out of the trees, forced to stand just to see above the tall grass and spot predators. Bipedalism freed our hands. hands that could grasp, craft tools, and eventually, we became meat. Meat provided a massive surge of protein and energy, the raw fuel required to power a growing brain. Then came the mastery of fire. Cooked food meant effortless digestion and maximum caloric intake. This sparked an explosion reaction in human brain size, but it was a perilous gamble. Studies reveal that during our darkest hour, the global human population plummeted. We were reduced to mere hundreds. We stood on the absolute brink. Extinction. That is the price of a big brain. Now do you see? Dinosaurs chose physical supremacy. Humanity chose brains and tools. These evolutionary paths are a strict fork in the road. They are mutually exclusive. You cannot have both. You cannot be both Mike Tyson and Albert Einstein. Dominate with raw muscle while reshaping the world with delicate tools. Dinosaurs, every ounce of everything and genetic potential, on sheer mass and biological weaponry. Once you walk that path, there is no turning back. But humans, cornered by extinction, survived by hiding in the dark, by relying on memory, cunning, and tools. That is how the spark of intelligence was lit. Evolution isn't a fair fight. It's a ruthless game of ecological niches. The dinosaur strategy was stable and perfect. They had zero incentive to change. Human intelligence, however, was forged in absolute desperation. So, give the dinosaurs another 100 million, 200 million years, and they still wouldn't build a civilization because trapped by their perfection. It wasn't a lack of time, the wrong trajectory. Which brings us to a chilling thought. Skeptics often ask, in 160 million years, is it really possible that not a single dinosaur achieved civilization? Scientists have actually looked for it. We have mountains of fossils from the Triassic, Cretaceous, millions of specimens spanning eras. Yet, across all that time, we have never found a single tool or a trace of architecture. Countless species perfectly preserved in stone across eons. Yet not one artifact. What does this mean? Dinosaurs simply never walked the path of civilization. In 160 million years, there was never a reptilian. Some might argue perhaps a dinosaur civilization was so advanced it completely erased all evidence of its existence. Please. Not even advanced sci-fi aliens could do that. You cannot. Millions fossilized in the dirt, yet miraculously scrub away every stone and metal tool. That isn't science. It's magic. Dinosaurs didn't build a civilization because they were stupid or short on time. They failed because they never needed to. In their world, if you stopped to think, you died. Apex predators constantly sharpened their hunting instincts. Herbivores evolved into walking fortresses of bone and armor. Smaller prey maxed out their speed and paranoia. Nothing in their environment pushed them toward abstract, complex language or social cooperation. Humanity's rise was a cosmic freak alignment of coincidences. A cooling climate, vanishing forests, forced bipedalism. Freed hands, the mastery of fire and cooked food. Rapid brain expansion. Language, society. Break a single link in that chain. Today, we do not exist. We are not evolution's inevitability. We are a biological accident. A world without civilization is the cosmic norm. Humanity is the anomaly. So, The next time you gaze at the stars and marvel at human greatness, remember this: on a cosmic scale, the dinosaurs were the true masters. They reigned for 160 million years. We are barely out of the cradle. Where will we outlive the dinosaurs? No one knows. Perhaps one day, long after humanity is gone, the next intelligent species will dig up our fossilized bones and ask the exact millions of years. Why did they never leave their solar system? When we will be the new dinosaurs.